with me today are a number of people, if I can introduce them. Closest to me is the Acting Troop M, Pennsylvania State Police Commander Kyle Griffith. Next to him is Trooper Nathan Branoski. Next to him is Lieutenant Sean Haynes, the Crime Commander for Troop M. And next to him is Sergeant Michael Kalinchuk, who's the Crime Section Supervisor for Troop M State Police. Next to him is Chief John Wiseman from Catasauqua Police Department. And standing next to him is Chief Deputy District Attorney Sarah Moyer from this office. And we are announcing today charges that have been filed relative to the incident that occurred on Election Day in the borough of Catasauqua in Lehigh County. At the outset, I'd like to remind you that charges being filed, complaints being filed, accusations being made are simply that, accusations. And the individuals alleged to have committed these crimes, Jack Pletz and Matthew David Pletz, are innocent until proven guilty. We are announcing the charges today for the incident that occurred on Election Day involving an explosive device that was thrown from a moving vehicle near a church in Catasauqua, which was being used that day as a polling place. A father and son are both charged in this incident. It occurred at approximately 9:15 in the morning on Tuesday, May 19th, 2026, near the Salem United Church of Christ at 615 3rd Street in the borough of Catasauqua. No one was injured in this occurrence. At the time of the explosion, the church was being used as a polling location for the primary elections in state and federal offices. The Pennsylvania State Police determined the explosive device had been detonated approximately 1/2 a block away from the entrance to the polling place. At this point, no information exists to cause the investigators to believe that the incident is related to the polling location. And residents who vote at that polling place were still able to cast their ballots, and there was not a need to extend the polling hours for that related to this incident. Currently, the incident remains under investigation, and it is an ongoing criminal investigation. The suspects are Jack Pletz, P-L-E-T-Z. His date of birth is December 16th, 2001. The second suspect is Matthew David Pletz. His date of birth is July 1, 1969. It is our belief that Matthew is the father of Jack. Both live in Catasauqua, and they've both been charged with the following counts: conspiracy to commit the unlawful possession or manufacture of weapons of mass destruction, conspiracy to commit the crime of risking a catastrophe, and misdemeanor charges of conspiracy to carry explosives in an automobile, conspiracy to make, use, or possess prohibitive offensive weapons, and conspiracy to possess instruments of a crime. Matthew Pletz, the father, was arrested on the evening of May 19th, and he is currently in Lehigh County Prison under $50,000 straight bail. He has a preliminary hearing, which is scheduled for 10:45 on May 26th in Lehigh County Central Court, which is located in the courthouse. As of the time of this news release, Jack Pletz is not yet in custody. Charges have been filed against him, and there's a warrant for his arrest. We're asking anyone who has information on where Jack Pletz can be found to contact law enforcement, state police, with that information, not to approach Jack Pletz, but to contact, if you don't know the number, 911 or the Pennsylvania State Police. Toward the end of this press conference, we'll show you a picture of Jack Pletz and ask that if anyone knows his whereabouts, that they contact Pennsylvania State Police or 911. Some more details about the incident. As you heard, happened on Tuesday, May 19th. The Pennsylvania State Police were called to the area of Salem United Church of Christ for reports of an explosive device that had been detonated. As you know, at the time, the church was being used as a polling place for the ongoing primary elections. First responders noticed the remnants of an explosive device near the intersection of Walnut and 3rd Streets in Catasauqua. Upon investigation, the explosive device was determined to be a red tubular cardboard fragment with melted red end caps and was consistent with an M-type explosive device. The investigation found video surveillance from a nearby location which showed a green 1998 Chevy pickup truck traveling north on 3rd Street toward the intersection of Walnut Street. The truck driver was identified as Jack Pletz. Shortly after, the truck stopped in the intersection, the engine revved, and the truck continued north, Just after that, a loud explosion was heard in the area where the truck was. The pickup truck was later located, parked at a home where both Jack and Matthew live, which is just a few blocks from where the explosion occurred. The investigation revealed that Matthew Pletz was seated inside in the passenger area of the truck at the time of the explosion. Investigators were able to talk to several witnesses who identified both Matthew and Jack by name. We were able to obtain search warrants on the 19th. One of those search warrants was served on the pickup truck, and investigators found 17 homemade illegal M-type explosive devices similar to the remnants which were found at the scene. We'd like to stress that throughout this investigation, there has been consistent communication between all levels of the government involved, including local, county, state, and federal law enforcement unit, Pennsylvania State Police Troop M Forensic Services Unit, the Federal Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives, Catasauqua Borough Police, the Allentown Police Department Bomb Squad, the Pennsylvania State Police M Fire Marshal Unit, North Catasauqua Borough Police, Catasauqua Fire Department, and the Lehigh County Special Operations Drone Team. As you heard, the case is being investigated by the Pennsylvania State Police and prosecuted by 2 state troopers, Ryan Ziegler and Matthew Brennan, and will be prosecuted by Chief Deputy District Attorney Sarah Moyer from our office. At this point, if there are questions, they can be directed to me, and I will answer them as best I can. As you know, there are certain things that I cannot address and certain parts of the investigation that I may not be able to address, but I will try. Let's go ahead, sir.
What do you think the motivation was in this case?
At this point, we don't have any insight into the motivation, so the answer is I don't know, and we're not going to speculate on it.
2 quick questions. So if you don't have motivation, why are you saying that it's likely that this really wasn't related to the polling place, being that this blast happened, a block and a half away?
Well, we're not saying that it is or is not. What we're saying is that the investigation hasn't revealed any evidence to support that. So without the evidence, we don't make a statement on it.
And do you have any reason to believe that Jack Pletz is a danger to others?
Based on the evidence of the case, it would support the fact that at one point he was in possession of homemade explosive devices of the type M that we've described, and in the truck that he was driving there were 17 additional ones. So that speaks for itself. Whether he's a danger to other people now, that's something we don't know because we haven't seen him or had been able to take him into custody since the date of the incident.
How were you able to get, I guess, put the father in custody but not the son?
The father is in custody because he was present and law enforcement was able to encounter him and take him into custody on the 19th. When they did that, the son was not present and was not been able to be taken into custody, and he has not returned to the residence at which we believe he lives.
And is the father cooperating with you guys on where his whereabouts may be?
Well, the father is in jail, and the father is entitled to remain silent and exercise his rights to an attorney and such as that, so we're not questioning him about the whereabouts of Jack's. Father's been in jail since the 19th.
A few quick questions. Do these 2 individuals share a residence, or are they both in the community?
It's our understanding that they were living at that same address at the time the incident occurred.
Are you investigating, is it possible, are you investigating other explosions that may have been taking place in the Catasauqua area?
At this point, we're not. We're focused on this investigation and getting Jack Pletz into custody.
There's some neighbors that we've heard say, like, they've heard these kind of things before. Is there the belief that they have been doing this before, and this is just something that they unfortunately go around doing?
Well, I will tell you that part of the rules, the ethical rules that guide us as a prosecutor's office, as a prosecution team, is that we're not really permitted to speculate about other bad behavior by the people that we're talking about when we make public comments. So unfortunately, that's not a question I can answer for you. I hope you'll accept that explanation.
And then just to be clear, so investigators never spoke with Jack Pletz?
You are correct. Jack
So-
Pletz has not been interviewed or taken into custody since the incident occurred. You are
He was
correct.
just seen on surveillance video?
And by eyewitnesses. You are correct.
How long ago do you think these explosives were made?
I have no idea how long ago they were made. Don't know that, but like I said, the investigation is ongoing. There are people who specialize in that sort of thing. Whether they'll be able to tell when they were made or not, I don't know the answer to that
And did
question.
you find any in the home? You said you found 17 in the truck, in the green truck. Did you find any in the home?
There were none of the similar explosives found in the home. The home was searched with a warrant, but none of those same type of explosives were found in the home.
Were there any raw materials found or only complete explosive devices?
I think it's fair to say raw materials were found, yes.
How? Can I
Wait.
get, like, how?
No, I'll go. No.
Oh, if you could somehow explain an M-type.
Sure.
And what other items are illegal that he had in possession, or are they available to purchase?
All of the things he's charged with are illegal. The thing that blew up in the street is illegal. The 17 devices found in the truck are all illegal. So they are not sold at retail establishments as what you would call firecrackers or fireworks of any sort, so they're all illegal.
How concerning is this, obviously, you know, like, you don't believe, at least at this time, that it's maybe politically related, but how concerning is it that somebody in, you know, rush hour morning, just after 9 a.m. On a Tuesday, is doing this outside of a church or anywhere?
Well, you know, part of the answer to that is before you right here. How concerning is it? Look at what you see here. Look at the list of the people that I read off who participated in this, you know, not just the people who are here, but the K-9 unit was there, the forensic service unit was out, the federal authorities with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. I mean, it's very concerning. We were on the phone with the voter registration office here and their solicitors to make sure that we're complying with the law as well as keeping the polling place open and available. So while we don't know the motivation and we don't speculate on the motivation, the facts are very concerning, and that's why you see the approach, the full-scale investigation, and the public explanation as best we can provide it to you.
You said there were no injuries from the detonation. Was there any property damage from the detonation? We've heard mixed reports about a car being damaged or even on fire. There's some speculation out there.
I'll be honest, I don't know the answer to that question. None of the charges include property damage, so if there was property damage that was done, my thought now is that it was minimal, if at all. Yeah.
Yep.
Wait, go ahead.
I read in the complaint about the 17 devices, the M-type,
Yes.
and then there was another more destructive device. Can you just kind of help us understand, so this M-type is more like a firework, and then what is this one other device?
Give me one moment, and I'm not sure that I can actually answer that question for you. I can't give you more detail on what that is. Quite honestly, I don't know. I haven't seen it myself, and I don't want to speculate on it. Yes?
Do you have a message for Jack? Is he facing a possibility of more charges if he doesn't turn himself in?
Well, the message for Jack would be that, from our position, it's always safer and easier when you turn yourself in. That's the message for Jack. We don't talk about speculation about other things because we don't know what can happen in the future, and we don't know what else may turn up. So the investigation is ongoing, so to say, yes, there are additional charges or there are not additional charges would be inappropriate. But the answer, of course, is, you know, when you're a fugitive, things can get difficult, and anybody can arrest you at any time, and that brings a level of risk to everybody involved, both law enforcement and the fugitive who's being sought. So the recommendation is that you turn yourself in.
Has any other property or properties been searched besides the vehicle? And I don't know if the home was had a warrant?
That's information that I would prefer to keep within the investigation. Yes,
Can you just speak again, was the initial report through 911 call, a citizen? How was it initially tipped off
So-
again?
give me one.
It was a 911 call.
I think it was a 911, yes, so 911 call.
Can you describe the nature of what it is that you're continuing to investigate at this point? Is it just a matter of locating the son, or is there other matters still?
Sure, well, the investigation will include, obviously, locating the son and arresting him is the primary. But some of the questions you've asked that we can't answer yet are things that we're going to continue to investigate. How dangerous are the other devices that were in the vehicle? Was there a plan on what to do with them? If we can discover a motive, that will be something that we'd like to find out. We may not. So what we're doing is trying to be very careful with the words that we use, what we say, and what we know. So when we say there's no evidence that it was related to the election, that means exactly that. There is no evidence at this point that it was related to the election. Those are the things that we're looking into and will continue to look into, as well as you indicated. Were there other things that happened in Catasauqua that are related to this same thing? We don't know the answer to that, but we intend to find out.
Do these two individuals that have been charged, do they have a history that you guys are aware of with this kind of behavior in the past, or any other criminal conduct, behavior that you can speak of?
The answer is one of the things that our rules require in order to guarantee a fair trial is not talking about prior bad behavior or criminal behavior of people who are charged with a crime in this setting. So unfortunately, I can't answer that question. I hope you'll accept that explanation.
Back to the similar to materials question, were there any plans or blueprints found at all? Anything to guide you, to instruct you as to how you put these together?
Not to my knowledge, no.
Do you believe Jack Putz is still in the Lehigh Valley?
I would say that if we knew where he was, he would be in custody. So that's not a great answer, but that's the answer.
With
All right.
respect to your office and your statement regarding past history, every single neighbor we spoke to in the past 2 days have complained about this family to Catasauqua Police and have told us that this has been going on for years and years, and nothing's been done. The explosions, trash collection at their house, they're disturbing the quality of life. Is there any kind of statement you can give to us on that?
I can tell you the same thing I told the other gentleman, that our ethical rules as prosecutors require that we not release information in a setting like this that will jeopardize a defendant's right to a fair trial. And I think answering your question would violate those ethical rules. Any other questions?
You said you have a picture of Jack for us?
Yes.
Is there anything else that, like, does he have any tattoos or anything that we should, that, are notable? Heard a couple folks talking about that in the neighborhood.
I don't know, and what we're prepared to show you today is just a photograph of his face and interests, and the only reason we're doing that is because we're trying to find him, and we think putting a picture of him out there will help assist in that endeavor. Typically, if you know, we typically do not put pictures of people who are charged with a crime, but one exception we make is when they are a fugitive, when there's a charge is filed and there's a warrant for their arrest, and that's why we're doing it today.
Well, just one last thing, and kind of hit on it a little bit. I mean, the message to the general public, if they see him, run into him, like, how dangerous that you believe that he may be at this point?
Great question, but very difficult to answer. The reality is what we know, or what we believe that he did, is have a homemade explosive device that was large enough, if it was detonated near you, to cause you serious bodily injury. Whether he has some of those with him now, I don't know. What his state of mind is now, I don't know. So you're asking a great question, but very difficult to answer. The last sighting law enforcement had him was by way of cameras on Tuesday the 19th. Today is Thursday. So what his state of mind is impossible for me to say. But I think that it is fair to say that the public should be cautious, probably shouldn't approach him. And if you see him, the best answer is to call either the Pennsylvania State Police or 911.
I know you're about to show a photo of him. Do you have a height, do you have his weight that you can release to us?
Yes, we do. And I'll give you that in a minute as soon as we show you the photograph. Does somebody have it?
This will be distributed electronically as well when I send out the newsletter.
Everybody satisfied? Okay. Thank you. If there are no other questions, and we are done here.
Can I ask one more thing? Do we know, is there anyone else that lives at the property?
The answer is yes, there are other people who live at the home.
Thank you.
Give me 1 second.